Hey everyone, welcome to the vid, and I've got a really cool video for you today. We're doing an AMA with two really cool people from the Clean Carbon protocol, and that is Mikhail, who is the CTO, and Udo, who is the CEO. So welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome. Cool. Thanks for having us.
It's really good to have you here because this is the second video that I'm doing on Clean Carbon, and the first video got a lot of positive comments. A lot of people were really interested. They were sort of saying, wow, this is such a new kind of project. And, you know, a lot of people are fascinated about it. So it is really good to have you here to sort of answer all these questions. And I guess initially I was just curious, can you tell us sort of what Clean Carbon's all about?
Yeah, maybe I can start because let's say the core idea of all this was a green energy supply really for 24 hours. And we've been a long time on research how to sort that out. And right now, for example, there's a lot of electrolyzer business for hydrogen production in place, which is supposed to be supplied by solar or by wind power. But both of these energy sources are not constant. You don't have always sun, you don't have always wind. I mean, you have to shut down the wind mills when it's too windy. Sometimes there is even no wind. So this is not reliable. And we were always like researching for reliable power supply, and the hydrogen production was the focus, because hydrogen, to my point of view, is the energy carrier of the future. And so we found this machine, the UHTG, and we always had in mind, with the UHTG, which is already a mind-blowing technique, if we could join this through a token and implement this into an ecosystem, then we have something really unique, as you said already. And we're happy that you get this. This replies as, this is what we think as well. This is exactly where we want to go, and we really think that this is like a really good idea.
Yeah, awesome, nice. And so it's essentially sort of like off-chain. What actually happens off-chain, like with all the technology? Maybe you want to explain that a little bit.
Yeah, basically the machine, what it does, it takes organic waste, which is shredded to a certain amount, because you can put like pieces in total. The largest is 2.5 cubic centimeters, sorry. And you put it into the machine, and the machine heats up. It gets nitrogen injected into the material, so you don't have oxygen in the material anymore. So not even physically there can be a burning process. And so there's a tube that's heated up to 1,200 degrees. And like that, the material straight gets gasificated and comes out. And of course, there's still some CO2 coming out. And this is the unique thing about this technique. This CO2 later on in a second heating process gets cracked as well. So there is no CO2 emission. And on top, the syngas that we obtain later on is really pure and has a high amount of hydrogen. So it's really environment friendly. And then in the outcome, you can use the syngas for different uses. You can separate the hydrogen. Apart from the syngas is used to heat up the UHTG. So it's an autark system as well. You only need around half day to heat it up with natural gas. And then later on, the machine supports itself by using the part of the produced syngas. So it's really autark, the whole system. So really, really cool as well. And as I said, beside from the hydrogen separation, you can use it in the chemical industry. We have excess heat a lot as well, which we will use for milk acid drying. So you got milk powder on top. So there are several things that you can do. Drying of sewage sludge, which is a huge topic as well, because obviously, especially islands have huge problems on that. And there are several outcomes that we can later on use for different businesses as well. And that's why we have here in the technology park as well the research and development center, because it's not just about putting the machine, and it's not a plug and play machine. It's really, you can later on use it for several new things. And that's what we want to do, that we then later on investigate, okay, this is nice, this we can do, we can implement this. And so we can do a lot of stuff. I mean, I just read that ExxonMobil is using their natural gas production due to crypto mining again. I mean, this could even be an idea to use the energy that we have, because it's green energy. And this is the focus now on Bitcoin, for example. They want to ban proof of work because of the bad energy supply. But if we do it green and from waste, that might be an idea that this on the long run could be, let's say, a part of the business.
Mm. Yeah, wow. I didn't realize that sort of idea you had as well, of using the machine itself to fund the power for the mining rigs. So then you can get all that sort of money from that as well, and actually do it in a green way.
It's an idea. I think it was last week or 3 or 4 days ago that ExxonMobil just announced that that they want to use like part of this. I can send you the link later if you want to. And they're going to do crypto mining with the overlapping energy. So yeah. Cool.
All right. So to sort of sum all that up, then would it be fair to say that you've got a machine which you put waste into, like I'm assuming that would be like landfill waste and stuff like that. You sort of process it with the nitrogen that takes out the oxygen, and you're left with syngas, which can be used for a lot of applications, and you can sell it and you can use it and all that stuff. Would that be a fair enough sort of summation?
Precisely. That's really good summary, I think. That's really the case, yes.
And so, okay, great. And so how does the CARBO token combine with all of this then?
Yes, so maybe I can jump in and try to explain it. So in the beginning, we were also thinking about different ideas, like how we can, first of all, there's always the idea of just simple, we can just use traditional business model and build the installation and make it run. So the token might not be needed, but we're just thinking, like what are the real benefits? And just, it's not really about just having additional way how to collect money through token launch. This is just really a small part of that. We decided that what we do with token is going to bring the whole project, even the physical part, to the whole new level. We can create like additional economies around it, make people use the token, create different kind of incentives to grow the community, because our token is going to have physical utilities as well around each and every installation. So here we started locally in Fuerteventura, and some of our contractors and business partners are going to use CARBO token for transactions between us. So this way, everybody in the community benefits, because to obtain CARBO, you need to buy it. Later, at some point, they're going to sell it. So everybody is just becoming part of this economy, and everybody is benefiting. Even people like living completely on different parts of the world, on different continents. So this is something that is really amazing. And also, we are thinking we can create different incentives for people to do certain activities. So for example, here in Fuerteventura, there are some organizations and companies who help to make the island a little bit greener and a little bit cleaner. So we can just create these additional incentives for people to do this kind of activities, and we can reward people with our tokens. And this way, first of all, the community is growing. We get more people into our ecosystem, and also like in cryptocurrencies in general. And also we reward people for certain activities that are good for the environment and everything around us. So this is the main ideas why we decided to go for the like, a little bit different business model, which I think it might work really amazingly for what we want to achieve.
Okay, cool. So you're looking at rewarding communities for doing sort of environmentally friendly stuff and giving them CARBO tokens, and also paying contractors and stuff like that to sort of build out the ecosystem with that. So what about the holders, just the people who want to hold the token? They're not a contractor, they're not, part of the communities on the island. What will they get when they hold the token in their wallets?
Right, so there are a couple of different DeFi, decentralized finance incentives built inside our token. There are two separate streams of passive income. One in native CARBO token, which comes as a instant reflections, and the other as a daily rewards in BUSD. So people just by holding the tokens can get additional passive income. And this is also like going back to this little point before about the contractors. So this is also additional idea for the people who are kind of new to the ecosystem. They're gonna get introduced to this DeFi incentives, and they might not decide to sell it right away because they will see like, why would I sell it and put it in my bank if I can just keep it in CARBO and I see it growing so much faster. So I can also add that our token is deflationary, 100%. Everything is being like mined in the very beginning, and it's 500 million tokens altogether. We're gonna sell it in probably few different phases altogether, but it's 100% deflationary. That there's only gonna be less and less available on the market. We're gonna be creating burning events, regular burning events. Because these are also a great marketing tool. We are thinking of what kind of things we need to build around it to make sure that that the whole ecosystem is 100% sustainable, and that there's always new people coming to CARBO economy. So this is what we're thinking.
Okay, cool. And so if you're paying out people reflections of CARBO, which is basically a percentage of all the swaps that happen in like Pancake Swap or stuff like that. Yes. We get that. And you're going to be paying in BUSD as well. I guess one of the big questions for pretty much a lot of DeFi projects, particularly when they're just beginning, is, the whole issue of giving passive rewards, being sustainable initially. And I was just wondering what your sort of thoughts are regarding being sustainable until all the infrastructure is up and running, and what your ideas around about how to, not make it just new investors are paying old investors.
Right. So first of all, we have different functions built in our smart contract. These are things like this, as I mentioned, the passive income in BUSD. There's a separate wallet that's going to fund marketing campaigns. There is the passive income in native CARBO token, and a couple of other functions. But each and every function can be turned on and off if we want to. If we're going to ask the community what they think, and if they decide this is not needed anymore, we can turn it off completely. But we are thinking that, especially in the beginning, it's very useful, because this is how you grow the project. Just to offer community additional ways and reasons why to invest in the project, and also hold the tokens later. But later, because at some point we suppose the whole token side might get like smaller and smaller compared to the whole installation side. So we might decide that these passive incomes are not worth it anymore. It's not worth it because we're getting so much money from the installations that we later use it for buybacks of our token. So this might be the simplest way how to drive the price up without even kind of offering this financial incentives anymore. So this is the idea. Like sooner or later, I think it's gonna, like in the beginning, there's gonna be tokens gonna produce most of the passive income for people, but sooner or later, I think it's gonna flip, and it might be the installations that's gonna take over.
Yeah, a huge part, as well as the treasury.
And the treasury as well, of course, yes. So just to be clear, maybe give like a little summary. So the funds collected during the pre-sale is going to be split. Some of them is going to go to fund the installation, and some of them is going to go to fund the treasury. Because we also recognize we want to have these two kind of, let's say, sides of the businesses running independently, but also supporting each other. So this is what we want to focus on both, like in the same time, pretty much, and just make sure both of them help each other to grow and work together.
Mm. Okay, cool. So initially then you're going to look at having a treasury. I remember in the last video I was talking about you're going to perhaps do DeFi investments and stuff like that while the installation is getting sort of up and running. And so the profits from that are going to go to, to buybacks, which you can give to the holders. But then later on is what you're saying. Hopefully the installations are going to be bringing in so much cash that you don't even have to worry about passively giving people money anymore. You're just going to buy back all the tokens and just hopefully, that'll make the price go higher.
Exactly. This is the idea. We don't know exactly when it's going to happen, and probably it's going to happen gradually, but this sooner or later, I think this is the direction that the project is going to go. Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right. And I was wondering if we could talk a little bit about the physical side of stuff. Can you tell me how far along it is at the moment in terms of the roadmap for the installation to be built, and permits and government approval and all that type of stuff?
Yeah. I mean, we're already far or made of loads of the steps that we need to do. Basically, we're here in the technology park in Fuerteventura, which gives us a legal framework that makes the whole process far quicker. Beside, we have a declaration which is called of island interest, and this means that all the permission processes are much quicker. So we get the permissions to construct and everything like really quick. And yeah, of course, this is more the engineering part with Camino, for example, who's in the team as well, and he is in charge of all these issues. And we're planning that, yeah, by the end of this year, everything's up and running, and then yeah, start to expand as well. And we even already have plans for expansions to Gran Canaria and Tenerife. And this is something that we mentioned in the white paper as well. It's not about the success of the token launch. This project is going to be executed anyway, because we here on the Canaries, we have a so-called RIC investment possibility, which is basically a reduction on the corporate tax for people that have gains. Let's say, to give an example, you have 100,000 euros profit, and you have to pay tax on that. The corporate tax would normally be 25 to 30%. But if you declare that you're going to reinvest this profit in the next 2 years in declared projects, and the Clean Carbon project is a RIC project, then you can reduce the corporate tax to 2.5%. That means instead of 25 or 30,000 euros, you pay 2.5 or 3,000. So this is a really good tax benefit. And of course, we already have people in line, because the Canary Islands is a tourist area. So there are big hotel chains that are looking out for these sort of opportunities. And what's going to happen? These people, they lend you the money on a 5-year loan at a really low interest rate. So this is our planning for the expansion. So we don't even need further money. As soon as we have the first installation running and we have the proof of concept, they're going to, as you would say, they're going to throw us the money at the hat, and we don't have to even look at it.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds really good. So essentially, it's going to get built,
Definitely. That's the thing. It's definitely going to be executed.
Okay, cool.
And as I mentioned before, if I can just add something to this, it's going to be executed no matter what. But what we would definitely prefer if it gets executed with the launch of the token, because of this whole additional benefits that I was explaining before. This is for us. This is such a much better deal and scenario. So, yeah. But it's going to get built no matter what.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, basically, there is no soft cap. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. And so with your team that are going to be looking at physically building the infrastructure, are you how much experience do you guys have with this particular type of technology, or is that something you're still sort of working out as you're going along?
No, we have like a straight contact with the producer, and of course there are long-term maintenance contracts. And for example, Camino, our head engineer here, he is 20 years in the business already, and he is originally from the Canary Islands, I think in the 5th generation, and so he's really he knows what to do and whom to talk to, and everybody knows who is in the engineering business that it's all about contacts. It's not about that you have a good idea. It's about you have to know whom to talk to and how, and then you get things sorted.
And Camino has constructed already multiple installations like that. It's nothing like in this specific waste to energy sector, but renewable energies. He's got a team of engineers, so we are super confident that this is going to be done quite easily, actually.
Yeah, so it's fair to say then that you pretty much know what you're doing. Everything's in place, you know.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Waiting for.
And as I said, there's the support. There is the support of the producer, which is like one of the basic things as well. And of course, there are guarantees. There's a 2-year guarantee after they build the whole installation. And of course, they are up to that the things are running. I mean, it would be like super bad marketing if one of the first machines that internationally is running on an industrial level doesn't work well. That's not good.
So pretty much they're going to send a team of engineers to train our team of engineers. And it's going to be constant communication channel open, making sure that everything is working.
Yeah, that's really great. And I think it's really amazing too, that all of this is happening off chain. You know, all of this is actual physical infrastructure that has a real world value. And the fact that you're adding the CARBO token to that, you know, as part of that whole ecosystem to build that out and get it onto the, you know, onto the blockchain space as well is something which I really love about this project and what sort of makes it so unique.
As we say in the white paper, it's asset backed, and this is especially if you're coming from the investment sector. If you hear asset backed, this is a good plus that you have in investments, because you can, if everything crashes, you still have a machine that you could sell at the end. And I mean, if we talk about a machine that is doing between around 3 million euros of benefit per year, I mean, if you sell a machine that does this, you can easily sell it on factor 5 or 10, because it's running. There's no point.
Yeah. And so with the sort of physical installation, I was wondering, do you get any rebates from the government, or are you getting any grants, or is that something you don't really need, or sort of what's going on with all that?
Exactly. We don't need it, but obviously we're going to apply for subventions. And the thing is that this is another thing, or a point why we are on the Canaries. The Canary Islands, they have extra access to EU bonds because we're really far away from Europe, but we still belong to Europe. This means, for example, the Canaries, they have a different tax system. The VAT, for example, is lower here. It's called EGIC. In mainland Spain, the EGIC here is between 2 and 9%, and in mainland Spain, it's 20 or 21, I think. So it's a different thing. That's why for petrol and stuff like that is really cheap. And there are incentives from the European Union, of course, to push these sort of installations here in the Canaries. And if you have a look on how everybody is now going crazy on hydrogen, and we, on top of producing hydrogen, we're eliminating waste, this is like a double no-brainer for subventions. So it's like quite obvious that we're going to get something, and it's going to be much.
Okay, good. Yeah, nice. And okay, I just want to play devil's advocate a little bit here, if it's okay.
Cool.
Sometimes projects, they either go over time, or they go over budget, or there's red tape, or unexpected things happen. And as part of your sort of business model is to use these physical assets as sort of the main driving force for income eventually. And before then, you're going to rely on the treasury and, you know, all that type of stuff. What happens if this, you know, goes over by 6 months, or, you know, I'm just sort of curious what might happen then with any contingencies you might have.
I mean, you can never, like, we're talking about public authorities, and there can always be a delay. This is like something that always can happen. But nevertheless, we will not run out of cash. And this is the thing, because because, for example, you don't pay the installations totally upfront. You pay in percentages, and a huge percentage is paid 6 months after the machine is running properly. And if the machine doesn't run properly as well, we can ask for a refund of the producer, even, because, as I said, the producer is really interested that this thing is running, and so they give good guarantees that it's not gonna crash.
Yeah, I can add to this because it relates to the token. So, like, I'm responsible for the running the token pretty much, and I treat it as almost like separate project in a way. that my job is to make sure that the whole token ecosystem is going to be running no matter what. Although it's almost impossible at this point that the installation will not happen. I assume worst case scenarios always, and I'm just thinking about the token, how we can make it like run, because even if there's some like couple of months delay, we want to make sure that everybody's going to benefit. The whole community is going to be happy regardless. It's not going to be a problem.
Mm. And as you say as well, the installation might be out, you know, say, let's just say for want of a better time, the end of the year. And if you're managing to sort of pay out people the reflections and the passive income for essentially a whole year, then it's already proven itself that it can work. Because, you know, if it's going to fail, it's going to fail before.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. And so with the token, then what sort of security measures you got in place, you know, in terms of liquidity and audit and multi-signature wallets and all that type of stuff?
Right. So we're going to have two separate audits. One is it's already in process, and it should be, I think, completed on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe Wednesday. And the other is supposed to start tomorrow. So the first one is kind of a little bit more general. It's automatic, but it's going to give us some, let's say, initial security that there is nothing wrong with our smart contract. And then the second one is going to be more comprehensive. That's going to give us full picture. But we're definitely going to make everything happen before the pre-sale, so all the investors can be safe and secure. What was the other question? Multi-signature, right?
Yeah.
We are actually considering this still, because I run previous project in a sense, and we, based on the audit that we got from auditing company, it got pointed out that this is something really important, and we've implemented that. But my experience is that it added so much more complexity on the top of the. It was every single financial transaction has to be so much more complicated, and we couldn't get it done by our by other people, pretty much, the people that we outsource certain things to. So this is I'm definitely aware that this is super important and community loves it, and I would say most likely we're going to implement it, but it might be the case that it's just we decide not to do it. So just to be completely like fair and transparent.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I guess everybody knows what you look like now, so you know, if you go running away with all the money.
Exactly.
I'm joking. That's, you know.
But even also, like, to be fair, but even like multi-signature wallets, they don't give you this like real confidence if you think about it, because you never know who owns the wallet. So I could set up the multi-signature wallet and still have the access to all of it, and it doesn't really solve the problem if you think about it.
That's true. I know a lot of projects are bringing in a community member, usually from the Discord or something, to be the third or the second signatory. But you know, you guys seem to know what you're doing with pretty much everything. So if you know that needs to happen, but I understand as well the complexities of it all, especially if you're having to give it to communities and contractors and all that type of stuff. And think about that.
We have our token has different addresses that's going to do different kind of things. There's going to be buyback events. There's going to be airdrop. There's going to be funds constantly run for marketing. Like every single transaction would have to be much more complicated, and it would take just longer. And we prefer to just like use our time the best way we can, and just to build the project and deliver. So yeah. But as I said, it's probably going to happen anyway, because this is not the first time we get this kind of feedback, and we really understand that from community's point of view, this is something really important.
Cool. Okay. And so you mentioned the pre-sale earlier. Can you give us any indications of when that might be happening?
Yes, we don't want to put out the specific dates just yet because we haven't announced it publicly, but we're starting the whitelisting process on 3rd of April, which is on Sunday, just a couple of days, a few days from now. The way how we structured everything, and we just want to make sure that we do really launch the best way, or pre-sale the best way possible. So our smart contract is flexible enough. It has really awesome functions that we can schedule different phases of the pre-sale, even like a day or just a couple of hours before. So our approach is to really just see how the community is growing, how many people we have, how many people want to participate in presale by whitelisting their addresses. And based on that, we want to decide on a specific date of the presale. And it's also possible because we have quite large hard cap. If you think about it, like that's 7.5 million that it's dedicated for the presale. So it is possible that based on the size of our community in, let's say, like a week or two, we might be almost confident that we're not going to collect that easily. So we give it ourselves like a window of opportunity that we can have like two separate phases, for example. That the next one will happen, let's say 2 weeks later, and then we can take like a little part of the collected funds and put it even more into marketing, and then just bring the whole project to the world. So we want to be flexible and just don't give dates just yet. But I can assure people that we are constantly thinking about it, and we are setting up the system that is going to benefit everybody the most.
Okay.
So this is the approach.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That all sounds fine. And you mentioned the whitelist as well. How can people get on the whitelist?
Right. So we are the whole process is going to be run through our website, and it's just going to be basically giving us BEP20 address and also a few other like information as well, because we want to make sure that nobody is cheating in a sense. So we need to have a verification process in place that they can verify if somebody really is who he is. So everything's going to be announced probably in a couple of days after we start the whitelisting process, or actually before we start whitelisting process, but it's going to be run through the website. There's going to be a link on our website with a part with a page to the page that everything is described, and it's just a matter of filling out the details.
Okay, and if people want to find out more about the project and get announcements and, you know, basically just want to know more and get updates and all that, where can they go?
The first kind of like point of contact is the website, I would say, cleancarbon.io. And from there, they can download the white papers. Also, the website is multilingual. For now, we have English, Spanish, and Polish. There's lots of other languages coming. We have Korean language scheduled. I have really good contacts in Korea, people who can really open the project to the market. So everything's we do it bit by bit, just adding one language at the time together with the community. So we are scheduling some promotions, influencers, and also community managers for the certain groups in different languages. So we're just building everything like step by step. It's the same as the whole project. Instead of just going out there to the world like right away, we are building this step by step. First with the pilot project, then local expansions, and then we're going to go globally. So this is the same concept applies.
Yeah, definitely. We should mention Discord as a channel,
right?
Where we have all the channels coming together. You have all the white paper, the pitch decks, all the stuff that you need. There's the whole community is like asking questions over there. So if you want to dig deep, you go on the Discord.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, and I'll leave the links to everything in the description as well, so people can just go straight to it from there. All right. Cool. And so I was just wondering then, is there any sort of alpha or anything you want to announce on the video right now, or are you just going to do it in your own time, sort of step by step?
I guess the biggest news at the moment is that the whitelisting process starts on 3rd of April, 1 p.m. UTC time on Sunday. So this is like the kind of next step for people who are interested in the project and they want to participate and become part of our community. And we strongly invite everybody to join us. Yeah. Cool.
Sounds good. Yeah, well, I mean, it does sound like a really good project, and I'm personally really excited as well to see it when it all starts and when the pre-sale starts and, you know, all that type of stuff. So I'm obviously going to be keeping an eye on it too. And I was just wondering, with you guys at the moment, sort of right now, how are you feeling about the project?
We are super excited. I'm super excited. I mean, like sometimes I'm a little bit tired because of the amount of work, but it gives you so much like energy. It's amazing. It's just so, I'm so happy to see the community growing so fast. Sometimes there are difficult questions, which I also love to answer really difficult questions and making sure that everybody really understands the project. So it's excitement and the hard work, but I love it personally.
Yeah, me too. I can't say anything else. I'm super happy, and the support that we get so far, and especially like from your community as well. that gives us the feeling that we do the right thing. And it's a really cool feeling. I can't say anything else, and I can't wait to put the power on the street.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, sounds good. Cool. Well, thanks so much, Udo and Mikhail, for coming on and answering the questions and giving such good detailed answers. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be really interested in this, and all the best for the launch and times ahead.
Thank you for having us, Dan.
Yeah, thanks a lot.